This is the bonus section podcast, episode number 66. I do versus we do. Are you the type of person that knows you are meant for something greater in this lifetime and that somewhere inside of you, there's just this bigger version of yourself trying to break through? But in spite of all your self-development, you just can't seem to find the way up there to your goals. Well, then you're definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the bonus section and the host of this podcast, and a person just like you trying to learn how to live the most fulfilling life possible. Now, to help you take immediate action to get moving in a better direction, if you want to spend some time working on your goals, we take all the notes from each episode and we post them at freethinkingtools.com, freethinkingtools.com. You'll see the latest couple of episodes up there. You can sit in a quiet spot and start working on thinking your way to better. All right, I do versus we do. This one is dedicated to the Jenny Griffin, who used to walk around as a real self-starter, and every time you try to help her with something, she would say, I do, right? So this is dedicated to her. So the first point here is that our desire to matter often puts us on a deserted island. Now, my context for this is as a real estate agent coach. I've had the wonderful benefit of coaching top producing real estate agents for a long time, as well as beginning agents for sure. But the top producer is an interesting competitor, right? They do so much on muscle. And think about it as an ultra marathoner. Right? David Goggins comes to mind. People that are ultra competitors, that there are a lot of people out there that they get into this battle with themselves and they accomplish amazing things, especially through willpower. Willpower alone, or this internal battle, they can really grind themselves out. I call a lot of top producers unicorns. Right? They're just unicorns. They're just a unique breed that can go at it and achieve something amazing. But oftentimes it's overrated. Don't get me wrong. In an individual sport like ultramarathon, no one's going to run it for you. I get that. But what we don't see is the folks that prepare to do that with a team. So think about a fighter. Think about mixed martial arts, which has become so positive. It's such a big part, a prolific part of our community now on TV. Again, I know a lot of you might not like that kind of a sport because it's violent, but the point is some of the best have massive teams. I think about Ronaldo, the soccer player. They have massive teams of trainers and nutritionists and all this sort of stuff. Whereas that person that's really struggling with success, that doesn't do that, they sort of look at the person who seems to do it effortlessly and say, how? How am I on this deserted island all by myself? And why can't I seem to break through even this glass ceiling? I'm selling all these homes. I'm scoring all these goals. I'm getting all these parts, but I'm exhausted. I feel alone. And when I feel alone, I feel depressed. I feel that this achievement means nothing. See, there's the danger in all of it when it's I do. I don't need anybody else. I'll do it by myself, says the top producer in a lot of businesses. And that's how you end up on this island, right? So the next point here is our dissatisfaction with being pushed to be better is also another reason why we can't seem to break off the island. Hey, I'm going to drop down onto your island for a little bit, I say as a coach, and I'm going to teach you to swim. Because really, the mainland's right over there. So if you would just learn how to swim a little bit better, you're going to get there, right? But first of all, you look a little rough. We have to start feeding you better, okay? We have to start doing some exercise. And we have to start doing some thinking exercises, some visualization, so that when we go to do this swim, it's not a short swim, you can make it. And then all of a sudden, we start to resist. We start to throw tantrums. And so we know, and the worst thing is when I do and we've been doing it so long, don't forget you've been training your brain to go it alone. And now all of a sudden you're like, I can't breathe, I can't sleep, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm all these things. And you finally ask for help, but then you resist that. You resist the help. So think about the tortoise's head coming out of the shell only to be scared back in. You keep retreating back in, even though you know you need to eat. You need to get out of this. And you have to break out of your I do shell to get there. It's difficult. It's difficult. And we get dissatisfied. And I know this as a coach, and it's a very, very difficult thing when you're trying to coach people out of this. Because oftentimes you have to see two different people inside that one person. You have to see the human that's in there trapped on that deserted island. You have to see them, and you have to feel that empathy, that deep empathy. You have to know that, oh, that person really wants out. See, not everybody wants out, so not everybody can be coached, helped, trained, etc. in any context, right? So now you start looking at this and you're saying, all right, I have that empathy. But this is an emergency situation as a coach. They're never going to get through this if I don't attack this other thing, this I do. I've got to go at it with that. And I have to have them trust me enough, or I have to set the context up and explain this to them very clearly like I'm explaining to you. I'm about to come after some of your negative paradigms that are choking you. I can see them the minute you open your mouth, the minute you describe your business, your situation. I have an enormous amount of experience with kids and top producers in business, enormous amount. So for me, as a coach with thousands of hours of doing this, I can see you coming across the room. I can see if you're even ready to be helped yet, or the minute you kind of put, oh yeah, I've been coached before. I can hear that, right? Oh yeah, I tried this before. It didn't work for me. You hear all that resistance, right? Stephen Pressfield's book, The War of Art, beautiful description of this manifestation of this resistance. This resistance is the thing that I'm after as a coach. I want to go to war with that. I love that. I relish that moment. But I do recognize that when I come for you, if you're ready for that, then you're going to feel dissatisfied with that push. It's going to bug you, and you're going to retreat. Like I said, I dedicated this one to Jenny. She's an actress, and she's an unbelievable writer and a great actress, and off to a great start young. But man, when I come to attack the fear monger that has her choked, I can see it every day. It has her choked by the throat, right? And so I pick my spots and I go in there. And Jenny can cry crocodile tears on cue. So it's hard to do because it's tough to watch your own child cry when you know you're battling it. But I still know I'm prying the jaws free, right? I'm getting that thing off her back so that she can at least see the next level and keep pushing. So it's hard. It's hard. So if you're going to seek guidance too to get off this deserted island, you have to have that kind of a person who has that good relationship where they see you as that human. It's not just bullying to get you through, because that doesn't work, by the way. There has to be a big why too, right? Why would it matter to get off the island to begin with? Well, hopefully it's because you see the context of your life. So whether it's Jenny as an actress or whether it's Lee as my client in top producing real estate agent, doesn't matter. That's their context. And there's a big why they want to be successful at those things. And that's to matter, right? We want to matter. And those are the fields that we've chosen to matter. So to be the biggest version of yourself, you have to get guidance and help to get off that island. And that's going to be uncomfortable. So you have to be ready for change. You have to accept change. I've had people that I've talked to about self-development, which is my passion. I'm just fine the way I am. Well, great. Well, great. Have a blast. Then this isn't going to vibe with you, but don't push back on me or don't interfere with my work with other people. I mean, if you're all set, quote unquote, you're all set. You don't need me. But for those of you that are looking for a way to get off the island, you have to start looking for the first we, that person, or that system, or that group, support group, whatever it might be. They're there. Go looking for them, right? And try to recognize you're going to bring this big bag of resistance into the initial relationship, right? I've had more people quit on me in the first couple of months because once I started to lean in on it, even though I warned them, they went to running because it comes dressed in overalls and looks like a lot of work, said Edison, right? The next point here to recognize is that it's actually your need for control that's limiting you. All of us, right? Our need for control is limiting us. And why do we have such a strong need for control? What is it that we're controlling on that island, right? What are we controlling really? And I know it's this sense of vulnerability. So many of us have been abused in so many contexts, right? So many. From the light to the deep, and it hurts, right? So being taken advantage of, and sometimes we're just so dumb because we don't know what we don't know, so we end up taking advantage of ourselves by doing something stupid. So we withdraw to trying to control everything around us, the environment, right? And sometimes we mistakenly believe that if I just do it all myself, then I have all the control. And the burden of that is just so tremendous, right? It's so tremendous. Here's why. Let's just say you want to be an actress. Well, you might be good at one piece of that naturally, but you're not good at seeing it from above like a director might do, like an editor might do, right? Like the supporting actress that's with you might see. Those are all different perspectives. And we're not master of everything, right? We're not. We're typically given these gifts that are more specific, that once we decide what they are, they're refined. But to be successful in that thing, we need other perspectives. See, that's the other thing. We don't come on board with all these different perspectives or interests. Sometimes that lens is so cleansed because there are other people that, let's say somebody from a young age wanted to be the next Steven Spielberg, and they work on that craft of directing since they were kids. They have this perspective and they know what they know. And then all of a sudden you come out, what are you, a director now? You've been acting all your life. It's the same thing when we look at our real estate business. I've been in houses for all my life, but I haven't been the person on the phone. So I go out looking for people that can help me do the phone work, and they're experts and they love it and they're good at it and they made distinctions. Now together we mastermind, and that we do thing is 10 times better than I do because I'm good at one, terrible at the other, and they need both. See what I mean? There's that symbiotic relationship that 1 + 1 equals maybe 10 in that case, depending on what the pop and the leverage of those two forces coming together. So total control over a situation is unreasonable. It's massively burdensome and is negatively affecting many people's health situation. A lot of us trying to control all these environments instead of asking for help, well, it's killing you, literally. The last point here is, given all that how, really, I'm trying to get into these things a little bit more how to, right? So it's how to stop being the I do versus we do, right? That's where I'm at. So the last piece of this is really advice. Don't be afraid to ask for help from experts you need to reach your goals. Ask. Do you know, when somebody's an expert, it doesn't mean all of them are naturally teachers. I mean, I've gone to experts and asked for help, and they say, oh, I don't know what I do. I don't know how I do what I do. So they're not natural teachers. So not everybody that's an expert is going to be able to help you. So recognize it too. You're not getting turned down. Some people aren't interested and aren't capable. So recognize that. But these days with the internet, you can basically cyberstalk experts. You can listen to them give away their best stuff for free on YouTube or Facebook or wherever they might be. And you can look from afar, and you can even put a toe in the water by sending them a DM, right? Dropping a message, a comment, whatever it might be, and just say, could you recommend, where would I start if this was me? A lot of you out there looking at the metaverse and looking at things like cryptocurrency. Go watch somebody that has a voice that you think is intelligent and drop a comment. Maybe you get lucky and you have a real winner and they give you a direction and off you go. Now all of a sudden we do just started with a little toe in the water. Okay? Let me go back and summarize these points here today. This whole sense of I do versus we do, really, we have to solve this, because the first problem with it is that our desire to matter, first of all, that we want to be smart. So if I do it, I can matter more. I can show the world that I did it on my own. The problem is the consequences. You end up on a deserted island trying to do that. And that's a tough place mentally. The second point is that our dissatisfaction with being pushed to better is often why we end up alone. That we're afraid to be challenged by somebody because we feel insecure about that. Be careful of that. The next thing is our need for control is limiting us because we're so afraid of being abused in some sense, even by our own bad decisions, that we're limited because we keep making our world smaller instead of being vulnerable, right, to a certain extent. Right? I'm not saying ever be physically vulnerable to anybody, mentally vulnerable, no abuse, right? You shut it down when you sense it, run away, your instincts. I mean more so in the context of just being vulnerable to open yourself up to see the world for the way it really is, versus trying to shut it all down. That's what I mean. And lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help from experts that you need to reach your goals. And if you don't find one in the first person, the second, that to keep going. Somebody is out there that has a spirit like mine that wants to teach you in the thing that you need help, right? Go find him. I'll summarize it this way today. Because we all want to matter, we often try very hard to achieve goals by ourselves without any help, so that we can show the world how important we are. Even though many of us do go on to achieve great things, all you unicorns, God bless you, we're actually limiting our true and full potential. Achievement in any field is predicated on having many different types of expertise, and we're all better at some skills than others. Therefore, to really self-fulfill at our greatest level, we must look for help and start adopting a we do versus an I do mentality if we really want to do our best work. All right, now remember, you can take immediate action to get moving towards your goals because we take all the notes from each episode and we post them. We just leave a couple episodes up there so you don't get confused. They're sitting there waiting for you at freethinkingtools.com. So if you catch this live, the latest issues are there. You can sit down. The notes are there. Go to a quiet place. You have instant access to those notes. So if you just decide to go there on a whim like this, just sign in. Boom. It's a spreadsheet. There they are. Sit down and think. I'm just trying to provoke you with this passion podcast to think, okay? Get out there and think your way through this stuff. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And you can also find us on our social media channels. Just remember, this is the bonus section, so that you don't miss out on these episodes live. We also appreciate it if you would join our mission of becoming people for others and share our content with other people just like you so that they get the help that they need to reach their goals. But remember this, we sign off the same way all the time. Nobody is coming for you. Nobody. So go get to work on yourself and a better plan for your goals, and we will see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks for listening.